From Relay, this is Upgrade, the Upgrade Holiday Special. In fact, this is episode 595. Today's show is brought to you by Squarespace, Sentry, and ExpressVPN. My name is Mike Hurley, and I have the pleasure of being joined by old Saint Nick himself, Jason Snell.
Oh, Merry Christmas!
Wow, that was a level of enthusiasm I was not expecting.
I mean, I don't know. You set me up for it, so I guess...
It is our holiday special, so know it's going to be jingles all the way. So I would like to thank our friend Lex for the creation of our wonderful jingles that we use at different episodes throughout the year. I will point you over to lex.games, which is Lex's Games. I'm going to say it's Lex Friedman. It's not that Lex Friedman. Every single time I say Lex Friedman, somebody writes in and says, oh, that Lex Friedman? No, it's a different Lex Friedman.
No, it's not. It's the other one.
Lex.
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
One.
But, Mike, we don't have time for all of that because...
We do not.
Jason, what do you think? It's time for Snell Talk.
I have a Snell Talk question that comes to us from Drew, who wants to know, Jason, do you have any favorite holiday snacks?
Holiday snacks. So this is a food question, is it?
Yes.
There's so much I eat for Christmas. There's so much I eat for Christmas. There's so much I eat for Christmas. Could you grab me a beer?
All right, we have a jingle for the food question.
Wait, where does that come from?
That's Lex.
Wait, did you have that made?
Last year. Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Yep. Favorite holiday snacks: ginger cookies. I love it. I love a ginger cookie.
Wait, we've done this before.
Yeah, we've done this whole thing before. That's okay. It's part of the heartwarming charm. We repeat these traditions. I love a ginger cookie.
Okay, so I asked about this because we just spoke about snacks, right? So Drew wrote in about Hollywood.
Yeah. So no, I'll do it. So ginger cookie. My friend Tina, who is not tuna, makes fudge every year. That was a deep cut upgrade reference there. Makes fudge every year. And because my son doesn't like the taste of mint, to this day we get half the fudge doesn't have mint on top of it. It's just plain chocolate fudge, and the other half has mint on it. So because not everybody likes the mint. What else? Chex Mix. I think I probably said that last year too. We make our own Chex Mix sometimes, and it feels very.
Said that last week we were talking about the Chex Mix.
Yeah. No, there's the pretzels, the pretzels, but they're not a holiday snack. Anyway, yeah, that's my answer. Mike, do you have favorite holiday snacks? Is it aspic? Tell us.
No, thank you. I was actually talking about that today with someone. I have come to really love peppermint bark. That's like a thing that I enjoy significantly. So that's chocolate with some peppermint on top of it. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. Gingerbread. I make a gingerbread house every year. So I'm actually doing that this weekend, which I'm looking forward to a lot. So I'm going to make a gingerbread house, and I like that. Gingerbread with a little icing on it is really good. But yeah, ginger is fantastic. And then in the UK, there are lots of like chocolate selection boxes, like little chocolates and stuff like that. Is a thing we do here, and we do it well. And I'm a big fan.
Okay.
If you would like to send in a Snell Talk question of your own, just go to upgradefeedback.com and send in your own Snell Talk. It's time for some follow-up, Jason Snell.
Follow-up.
Okay, thank you. Sam writes in and says, the gingerbread Pepsi that we spoke about last time is actually quite nice. Although it's not as nice as the discontinued Pepsi Max Ginger. What could possibly be the difference? You know what I mean? What
that was
possibly?
Max. That was Max.
Yeah, but what? Why? Like ginger and gingerbread. Surely there's not a difference, right? Like realistically, like in the flavor of the soda.
More ginger.
There can't be a difference. I can't imagine it. But says Sam, when they released the gingerbread Pepsi, they also did gingerbread Doritos because they're both from the same company, and the Doritos are weird because they're sweet. I thought I didn't like them, but I kept picking away at them. That is a crime.
So I'll just tell you, Taco Bell used to have a dessert called, I think they were called Cinnamon Crispas, but what they were sugar cinnamon corn chips. And they were good. They're good.
I can imagine that, though.
Corn chips can be sweet. They don't have to be savory. We think of Doritos. I think Doritos, that's a misuse of the Doritos brand to call it that. But you could do it.
I would say sugar, cinnamon on like is fine, but I don't. Just gingerbread Doritos seems wrong. Like that seems like really wrong.
Yeah,
I feel like so. Kate mentioned that they saw the gingerbread Pepsi here in the UK, like in a store. I feel like I need to buy and drink the gingerbread Pepsi now at this point.
Give it a try.
I think I have to do this.
That's your challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Challenge accepted.
I do have follow-up. Somebody wrote in and they correctly identified what I was thinking of when I said that at the curling club we have weird flavored Oreos. And that there was one that was like both sides, and it was Reese's peanut butter cups. There were Reese's Oreos, which I did try, and they also made Oreo Reese's. So they were,
I know these have been very popular.
It was a collab.
Yeah, those have been. But that to me makes way more sense. Like
it
Oreo, like, that's just like the two sweet things. You're just putting them together. It's like fine, you know.
So my question is, if there's gingerbread Doritos, does that imply the existence of Doritos gingerbread, where it's like flaming hot gingerbread?
Cool Ranch gingerbread.
Cool Ranch gingerbread house. Oh my God. It would be in a ranch style. There'd be little ginger cows out in front of it, and it would be Cool Ranch gingerbread. Yeah.
Here's the thing that I wouldn't have expected. Zoe says the gingerbread Pepsi and Doritos are UK exclusive? What is happening? No way.
It's the Brits.
That's madness. Okay.
You love the ginger.
Adam wrote in with a post on Mastodon that I'm going to put in the show notes of a screen recording of us effectively gaming the Apple Podcast system last week, where we mentioned a bunch of podcasts in succession, and it in fact showed them and added them to the links.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually were just like messing around and named a bunch of podcasts, and you can see those podcasts just keep appearing in Apple Podcasts as we go. Hilarious.
It works. So I don't know how long that's going to work for, but, you know, get all your good podcasts, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's time for some rumor roundup, Jason Snell.
Saddle up and ride into the future. Saddle up and ride into the future. Saddle up and ride into the future. It's the rumor roundup.
I don't know if we had mentioned if people could realize this, but we are just having a bunch of really condensed segments in today's episode, so we can play as many jingles as possible.
Yes, that's correct.
There is a rumor that the iMac Pro is coming back.
What?
This is a thing, apparently.
What? I don't understand it. I don't know why they would do this, but there's a rumor that they're testing an iMac Pro with a Max chip in it.
Yep.
And I dug it up 2 years ago. Mark Gurman said, because he's been reporting that they aren't imminently doing one, but that they have been thinking about it. He said in the M1 generation, they were thinking about it and they decided to table it. And then 2 years ago, he said they're still thinking about it, but they haven't done it yet. And he actually said it was a 32-inch iMac with a higher-end chip, and he said it would probably arrive maybe as late 2025. Well, we're running out of time for that, but this new thing says that Mac might actually exist and be in testing for next year.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All the reports say this. I just don't understand it. I don't know why in Apple's current strategy, where they've got a Mac Studio and a Mac Mini, and they've got studio displays, why they would make a 32-inch iMac, even if it's an iMac Pro. What's the market for that? I mean, there's barely a market for the iMac. And for a much more expensive iMac Pro, where people... is somebody with a 32-inch monitor not going to want to prefer to buy a Mac Studio or something like that? I don't know. I find that very weird. And then the other thought that I had was how wasteful it is that Apple makes these iMacs and they can't be repurposed as monitors, because even if you buy that 32-inch M5 Max iMac Pro that might be coming, when the M5 Max has now been left in the dust by the M9 Max, are you going to toss the perfectly good 32-inch monitor that came with it? Which is, like, if they do stuff like this, they really need to build back in a mode that just turns that into a studio display at the end of its life.
Yeah, it's worth noting that this has come up again because at Mac Rumors they were talking about finding references to an iMac of an M5 Max in kernel files. The 32-inch thing is something that Mark Gurman had reported on previously. Like, there's nothing to suggest that this Mac has a screen size that's any different to the one that we currently have, right?
Well, it's unclear, but I think Gurman's report would suggest that was the idea, at least a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I'm all for the idea that the iMac enclosure can hold other chips. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't understand the idea that they would build this 32-inch iMac, because the iMac is just it is a niche product now. It's perfectly fine, but it's
not
a niche
needed
product.
anymore.
It's not needed.
We only talk about a Pro iMac because they made one once, because there was nothing else. There was that was supposed to be the Mac Pro, right?
Yeah.
And now, personally, I think it would be hilarious if this product existed and the Mac Pro did not get an update. That would be very funny to me, just because of how weird that is. But ultimately, for all the reasons you're saying, I don't see why or where this product has any reason for existing anymore. A bigger iMac is one thing. An iMac with a Max chip in it makes no sense. I think if you're going to have the iMac, there should be two sizes, and that maybe you can choose between the standard and Pro chips.
And Pro chips.
But really, the only reason you do that is because you're going to have two sizes of iMac, which I think would just be a good thing to have. It doesn't make any sense to me to put the M5 Max or any Max chip in the iMac as it is today.
I don't know. I mean, unless the only thing I can guess is that they've got signals that iMac buyers would prefer a larger screen. But again, that would fit better into your suggestion that they just make a bigger iMac.
Yeah.
And then that iMac might be big enough that they could have better thermals in it, and so that they could let you upgrade to a Pro chip, maybe, or maybe even a Max chip. Maybe that's what the story is. It's just that they're going to sell a larger iMac, and it's going to have different chips that are on offer because they can have a bigger cooling system in it. Maybe that would make a little more sense. But it's very weird, because I feel like they're in a really good place on the desktop. Keeping in mind, too, that 3/4 of the Macs that they sell are laptops. And so external displays are like a great story, because if you've got a laptop, you can connect it. Otherwise, you can choose Mac Mini, or if you want more power, Mac Studio. This makes sense. Only, the iMac exists because you want a self-contained thing that you can move around or put on a desk or put on at a hotel lobby and things like that, which is fine. It's good that product exists. It's nice. It's a nice product. I just don't know how much more iMac we need in the world. And again, I'm just going to say, I really hope the next time they re-engineer the iMac, especially since the Studio display already has an A-series chip in it. Right? So they've written software that will run on Apple Silicon that basically makes the Apple Silicon chip just drive a Thunderbolt display, right?
Yeah.
Please, Apple, if you're going to do that, and if you're going to sell more iMacs, engineer a mode that just turns it into a Studio display. Because one, if I'm home and I've got an iMac and I want to plug, and I'm for my kids, and I want to plug my laptop into it to get a bigger screen, that's a nice use case. And at the end of their usable lives as a computer, they could become a Studio display and still get use. And that is what they should be doing. So so I find this a very weird rumor, but there it is. It's a rumor. We got to watch it for next year. iMac Pro. I did not have that on the bingo card, but there it is.
Well, if more models is what you would like, I have more models for you. But
I don't.
It's the iPhone.
I don't. Okay, more iPhones. Great, let's do it.
The information
Bring
is
it on.
reporting on the next 2 years of Apple's iPhone roadmap. So they've kind of mapped things out. There's some little piece of information that they seem to have. So I'm going to start with these. I think this will go in chronological order. The iPhone 17e coming in spring 2026. The main difference between this and the 16e that is reported is it will be bringing MagSafe back to the product, which is absolutely should have.
Yes.
Wild that the 16e did not.
Agreed.
The iPhone 18 Pro will have a, quote, left-aligned selfie camera and a new camera image sensor that can capture more light at night while preventing washed-out photos during the day. Now, that left-aligned selfie camera, that would only make sense to me in a scenario where they've put Face ID under the display.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
is it hidden in the bezel in that scenario? Or is there a punch-out in the upper left corner?
I reckon there's a punch-out in the upper left corner. That's what I reckon you've got going on there. But maybe it's small. Remember, it was described in another rumor as a pinhole? Maybe it's like a really small cutout.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Okay. Weird.
Then the iPhone Fold. The iPhone Fold will have a 5.3-inch outside display and a 7.7-inch inside display.
Okay. Keeping in mind that the 5.3 will be very tall and the 7.7 will be very square. So it'll be many more pixels.
But what that will be like to do things on, we just don't know yet.
Did you see MKBHD's video about the trifold?
Yeah,
Samsung trifold. I thought it was it's a really good video. And he talks about how it is ridiculous that it's thick. Although he said it's not as thick as the first 5 generations of Samsung Fold,
which is amazing.
And he also said, I don't think it can get much thinner because it's so thin, because it has to be like, you can't make it that much thinner. But his point was more, it is really nice to have a rectangular screen when it unfolds instead of the little square screen. Now, his argument, and I've seen this argument before, is if what you want to do when you unfold your phone is watch video, unfolding a two-fold like the iPhone Fold is supposed to be doesn't help you because it's square. And so your video is not any bigger. That's true. I find that kind of a bogus argument because there are lots of things you probably want to do with that interior display. Obviously, it just goes without saying, if the primary thing you want the folding phone to do is have a bigger video playing, don't buy it because it won't work.
I think it's just an argument, right? Like, I don't think he's saying that it's like bad or whatever, but it's just this is a thing which makes it interesting that it can get real big.
It's a terrible use of the pixels, though. But his argument is still very interesting, and just in the sense that you've got so much more space with that trifold. The trifold is on one level ridiculous, and another level actually kind of, what he says is basically once you unfold it, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty cool because it's
like
a
an
real
actual tablet,
big
like
tablet,
honest to goodness tablet.
Yeah.
Where before this, they're like, well, this is a really big phone, this, which is how the folding phones all feel.
And the 7.7, 7.7 iPhone Fold, that screen will be like a kind of mini iPad. But like not quite an iPad mini, but a small iPad, and we'll have to see. But anyway, that was a good video about what people want in folding phones, and I recommend. I recommend MKBHD's channel in general, but that's a really good video.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Seeing him use that thing is like, oh my gosh, that is actually just a tablet, and it folds into a phone. Like, that is really interesting. Then we have the iPhone 18 and 18e coming in spring of 2027. So this is the start of the split strategy. The iPhone Air 2 will also come alongside that, possibly with a price cut and a second camera.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Then in fall of 2027, the iPhone 20. This will feature a radically new design. This is quoting from the information. Curved glass on all 4 sides and a narrow metal band running around the midpoint of the device's edge where the buttons sit. Can't fully get my head around that. I think that's like I can imagine what it might look like, but I just don't know. And then the iPhone 19, 19 Pro, and Fold 2 could launch alongside the iPhone 20, which would result in 10 distinct iPhone releases in the next 2 years.
It's wild.
Yeah.
This is, Tim Cook did say, and I know he says this sort of thing a lot, but it seemed to me that he emphasized the strength of the iPhone pipeline in the last year. Yeah. And this strikes me as being why he did that, because he knows that there's this just a whole bunch of new stuff that they're going to put out, and that when he said it's stronger than ever, again, you could just take it as his word that it's just like, he always says that it's just hype, whatever. But like to me, it felt like a different sort of hype than usual, and this backs that up.
On its own, the 20 and the Fold are going to be really exciting. Let alone all of the other things that might happen to the other regular phones and all this kind of stuff.
And the beauty is, if the Fold and the 20 are expensive and sort of like for a more niche audience. I made this point a bunch, but I'll say it again. Apple still really likes the idea of exploring the upper reaches of what people are willing to pay for an iPhone, because there is a portion of their audience that will pay a lot more than they're even now paying for an iPhone. There are people who will say, if you can give me a super awesome cutting edge phone at the high end, I will buy it. And they want those people to spend more money on their iPhone. It makes sense for them. They make more money that way. But also important to that strategy is you still sell an iPhone 19 Pro and an iPhone 19. And so people are like, I'm not ever going to buy a $2,200 phone or a $2,500 phone. It's fine. they also still sell an iPhone for you. So we'll see how it goes, but like I think that's the strategy they're doing there.
I have just now at this point worked out how difficult the next few years are going to be, because they're bringing out a folding iPhone and then this really interesting new 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I going to want?
Right. And an Air 2.
Be weird. And an Air 2. Man, oh man, how many iPhones can one man own? I think that's...
I don't know. We'll find out.
It's time for the Betails.
It's the Betails. Future software and features, they're coming right at you. Woohoo.
Funny story, when I asked Lex for this jingle, he didn't know that it was a DuckTales reference. He thought it was a Beatles reference, which explains that song. So there we go.
I didn't know that it was like that. Was why it was like that.
That's why it's like that.
I just thought it was trying to be similar to Rumor Roundup, because like they feel similar, those two songs.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Part of this is follow-up. So 26.3 Beta 1 is out now, and it includes Apple's side of the
Android iPhone migration.
Android, that's it. That's what I'm looking for. You found the words for me. So it includes that. So we now know from Apple's perspective that you'll be able to, quote, users can opt to move over photos, messages, notes, apps, passwords, phone numbers, and more. Data transfers occur with no need to download and use a separate app, making the process simpler. This is from Mac Rumors. Health data, devices paired with Bluetooth, and protected items like locked notes are not transferred over to the new device. So to do this, you need to use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. You have to have those turned on to perform the transfer, and it will be initiated via a QR code that you scan, or you can also use a manual pairing code as well to kind of set the two devices up. So I guess this is like, a more simple way of doing the kind of QR code thing than the one that Apple creates, where it's got that like weird like pulsing orb thing, that they do with all like the shimmery stars or whatever. I guess it's just like a kind of really basic version of that.
Okay.
Also, notification forwarding for non-Apple wearable devices is showing up. This will allow users to send notifications to a single third-party connected device. They can choose which apps, so it can be a subset, just kind of like with the Apple Watch, where you can say, like, don't show all of my apps, just show certain apps. This was a DMA requirement and will only be available to European iPhone users.
Oh, interesting. I thought that was going to go everywhere.
It is showing everywhere. Apparently, it will only be available in Europe.
Oh, interesting.
At least to start with.
That Mac Rumor story got updated, which smacks of somebody from Apple calling and saying, no, this is only going to be in Europe.
Well, I mean, it is if you download Beta 1 in America, you see the option, but it just doesn't work.
It's just like the idea that this would make something like the Pebble work a lot better, and they're going to be like, no, you don't get to do that. Only in Europe is frustrating.
But this is like part of the crux of the Department of Justice case. Is like this exact thing. This is like one of the only good things in that DOJ case is that idea of like of third party devices, because they're thinking about like meta stuff or whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of frustrating, I wrote a piece about this. 18.7.3 is out, as well as 26.2. And they both patch a bunch of security holes, including a 0-day WebKit bug and a messages bug that's bad and a bunch of other stuff. And in a very weird quirk, iPhones that are capable of running 26 are currently not being offered 18.7.3 if they're running on iOS 18.7. They're only offered 26.2. Which goes against Apple's longstanding tradition of releasing updates so that you can update your security without going to a new version for a year or 2 or 3 or whatever. On the iPad, if you're running 18.7.2, you are offered 18.7.3. You don't have to go to 26, which is why to me this sounds like a mistake. Like either it's a bug or there was something wrong with the 18.7.3 build they were offering and that they removed it. But it has the net effect of sort of saying, if you want to patch security holes, we're going to force you to update your phone to 26 if it runs 26. Phones that don't run 26 are offered the update. Phones that do run 26 are only being offered 26. So my gut feeling is it's an error and not a sneaky way of Apple forcing everybody onto 26 in order to get a security update. But that's the net result.
Rampantly running wild conspiracy theory right now, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People want to believe that. But like the fact that the iPad is fine suggests to me that something went wrong somewhere. And I asked Apple about this a couple of days ago. No response. So I don't know. I tried.
This is your final call to put your votes in for the Upgradies. Go to upgradies.vote. The voting will close on December 23rd. So when you're listening to this on the day it comes out, this is your last call to get your votes in.
Yeah.
We're going to be recording the 12th annual Upgradies next week, which I'm really excited about. So I'm really looking forward to that. Go to upgradies.vote. That's how you send
do it now, because depending on when you're listening to this, you have almost no time.
Yes, exactly. Or you have no time. It's done.
Or it's done.
Don't be that person. Don't miss it. You don't want to miss it.
Do it now.
Speaking of time running out, you don't have much longer to get 20% off an annual plan to support this show and get Upgrade Plus. For just $56 a year, you could get longer ad-free episodes of the show. Every episode you will get with no ads, more content. It's about $1 an episode, and you'll be supporting this show. So we'll probably be talking about it just one more time next week. But if you're listening to this in Christmas week, this is like maybe a perfect Christmas gift for you. You can give it to a friend or family member. They can go buy it for you. Go to getupgradeplus.com with the code 2025holidays at checkout, and you'll get 20% off first year of supporting the show, and we will really appreciate it. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just getting started or scaling a growing business, Squarespace gives you everything you need to claim your domain, showcase your offerings of a professional website, grow your brand, and get paid all in one place. You can make the most of Blueprint AI, which is Squarespace's AI-enhanced website builder that will let you quickly and easily build a site bespoke to your business. You just input some basic information about your industry and goals, and they'll make some recommendations for you. But they also have their professionally designed, beautiful, award-winning website templates that you can choose from their awesome template galleries. However you want to start, you'll have beautiful design options, no experience required. This is what brought me back so many times to Squarespace over the last nearly 2 decades. But I've been building websites with them for so many things because it's so easy to build a really great looking website. You can also offer your services and get paid. From consultations to events and experiences, you can showcase your offerings with a customizable website that is designed to attract clients and grow your business. Think built-in appointment scheduling, email marketing tools, and more. Plus, keep everything cohesive with on-brand invoices and get paid easily with online payments. Head to squarespace.com/upgrade and you can sign up for a free trial today. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code UPGRADE and you will save 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain. That is squarespace.com/upgrade with the offer code UPGRADE to get 10% off your first purchase and show your support for the show. A thanks to Squarespace for the support of this show and all of Relay. So, Jason, what are we doing for the holiday special this year?
For the holiday special this year, we are going to revisit a classic from Upgrade 526, the amazingly titled Journal and Learnal. Which is, we are going to look at Tahoe icons, and we're going to place them in a tier list. We're going to compare the previous icon to the current icon, have some thoughts about that, and then place each of them on a tier list, which goes in the traditional tier list format of S, A, B, C, D, F.
So we're tier ranking the new icon, right?
Yes.
Even though we're going to compare them for fun, but we're gonna rank them against each other. Also, this isn't every icon. I believe you have picked a subset which you think do a good job of summing up what's on Tahoe.
28 icons from Tahoe that we're going to cover if we get through them all. And I find it valuable because, one, we want to see how they changed in Tahoe. Yeah. And we can comment on that because some of this is like, did they get better or worse?
Yeah.
And then if we previously rated the icon in Journal and Learnal back in 526, we will say what we gave that app as a rating. So we're going to just go through and dig through, the somewhat controversial new icon designs in Tahoe. That's the plan here.
I look forward to establishing a set of rules that we don't follow.
Yep.
So I think that's what we did last time. All right, so what are we starting with?
We are starting with audio MIDI setup, not previously rated in Journal and Learnal. We didn't do it there. This is an icon that both versions, it shows a piano keyboard. The old version was a piano keyboard with some sort of it's a black keyboard with some controls at the top.
Some dials.
The new one, it's all shrunken. The keys went all the way down on the old one to almost the edge. The new one, the keys are pushed up. There's more of a black border around the round rect here, the squircle. And there are now 6 colorful buttons in a familiar color pattern just above the keyboard. And then there are a little more cartoony controls above that for the audio MIDI setup.
What I like about this icon that we're starting with here is you have chosen one that is absolutely better on Tahoe.
It is.
Because what I really don't like...
These are in alphabetical order, by the way. I didn't. Only the alphabet chose. I didn't choose.
You
the alphabet
chose. You chose. You know what? Maybe in the designers, they started at A, and like this is the first
and
one,
they ran
so
out
it's
of
like
steam.
really good.
Yeah.
We're done now.
Yeah,
we haven't got any more in us.
We did it, everybody. Audio MIDI setup.
This is it. Pre-Tahoe, we'll say pre-Tahoe. What I really don't like about the pre-Tahoe icon is that the square keys on the keyboard clash with the roundness of the icon, like the round rec. It's very unpleasing to me that those corners kind of hit into each other in a way that I do not like.
The keys on the Tahoe icon are curved at the corners, so they form that kind of curved border around it.
Which doesn't really make sense for a keyboard, but looks nice. It
does look nice.
And also, I just think this icon is just a good-looking icon. Like
I agree. The Apple 6-color rainbow as colorful controls above it's so good. I think it's really good.
And I always really appreciate it when they pander. And that is the pandering. I like the pandering of the 6 colors. They know who they're getting with that.
They do. They do. So where do we put this?
I think this is at least A tier.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's good. I don't know if I want to hold it out for S tier.
Well, as I like to do in all of my tier lists, you've got to allow for a re-rank at the end.
Of course.
So, this may go up. Who knows? We're going to have to see what's in there.
Well, we'll put it in A tier for now.
We're doing this. We'll put a link in the show notes at the end to the, I guess, the tier list before and after. So people can see some imagery.
Sure.
We're doing this in freeform, which is fun.
We are.
That's fun for us. So I love that. So we've got some fun image. I've got an iPad in front of me because I opened the freeform board before we started. I'm not on Tahoe on this Mac. I'm on what is it? High Sierra? Who knows? What am I doing?
You're forbidden.
Mountain Lion? What am I on here? What operating system was before Tahoe?
I don't know. It was the one Sequoia. It was the one where we both picked a location that was the same distance away. And
I opened the freeform board on Sequoia, and it said this is not supported. Update your operating system. Like, wow.
So you're looking at it on an iPad.
Work.
I got it. We're doing great here. Okay. That means we're up to Automator.
Yeah. So Automator, the old icon, we had given a D rank.
Yeah, you didn't like it. This is Otto, the Automator. He's the robot mascot of Automator. He's got his head with his one eye, and he's got his robot arms holding a pipe, and standing in a circle that kind of ripples out from that. And it's the classic kind of Automator icon. Like it. And you didn't like it.
No, why are his arms like a spring? Why has he got claw hands?
He's
why
a robot.
Is he even holding a pipe threateningly? Like nothing is good about the old icon.
I disagree, but
I know you do.
That's why it's not F tier, is because I made you do it at D tier. But
the new one,
the new one
is so bad. It's like, why did you even bother,
Myke? Let me try to characterize the new icon. The new icon is the old robot icon's driver's license photo.
Or a mugshot.
Yeah, or a mugshot. He knows what he did. He beat somebody with that pipe.
He got arrested for the pipe.
Yeah, it's his mugshot. You got it.
Oh,
you got it. It's just, it has no personality at all. It's literally just his head, and it's the same shape, right? It's his head and the top, like his shoulders, facing forward in a gray round rect. It is What? Yes. What did they do? What did they do to my boy Otto? What did they do to him?
So bad. It's such a bad one. Like, it is funny that they ran out of steam between Audio, MIDI, and Automator.
Automator, they're already done.
Like the next one.
Bankruptcy.
It's bad.
Yeah, this is if the old one where he was at least kind of an interesting looking robot is a D tier. I this is F tier. This is mugshot territory. It's bad.
Yeah, yeah. There kind of is nowhere else for it to go.
Yeah.
It's real bad. Like, I mean, I also think the old one's bad, but at least it had her personality. It's not a personality that vibes with me at all. But this one is just like they did the absolute bare minimum.
Yeah.
They may as well have just I don't know, just made it a pipe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
do anything.
Actually, my theory, I mean, they did have to do a new illustration, but my theory is that they didn't have the art for the old robot, because they could have just shrunk down the old robot and put him in a bigger round rect. And I think they maybe didn't have the file, and they're like, nah, we'll just make a new one and we'll make a mugshot.
It's like
it's bad.
it barely has a body.
What does it communicate to you? What does that communicate to
Threat.
you? A faceless robot.
It's more
facing
threat.
forward.
It's looking directly at me. Why is it good? I guess they did bring that over from version to version. Is the like threat of
The
Otto.
all-seeing eye. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So
Should we move on?
Let's move on to calendar.
Calendar.
Now,
Okay.
I hadn't realized how bad a job they'd done with calendar. So the previous version of the calendar icon.
We put it B tier.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because this may have maybe changing my opinion here, and maybe changes my opinion of myself in the past. Did the Mac version of the calendar icon have the date on it, or was it always July 17th?
When it's launched and running in the dock, it has the current date.
Okay, and the new version doesn't.
And the new version, when it's launched and running in the dock, it has the current date. That hasn't changed. It's just what is the icon of the app out in the Finder.
Okay.
It has gone from a proxy date, July 17th, to a calendar that's got the red stripe at the top with nothing in it, and then a bunch of dots, including one red dot indicating the date. So they've kind of gone from a date that is not the date to a thing that looks like it's a calendar that you would have to zoom in to see data.
Done the opposite of what I thought was going on here, because I thought they had replaced the calendar with a date on it with just no date anymore. So this has actually made it better, because I think as just a proxy, the app is an open icon. The new one is a better icon for a calendar than the old one that had a date that wasn't today.
Right.
You know? Like, if you're just looking at this in Spotlight or Launchpad or whatever you would call it, seeing July 17th is not particularly helpful to you if it's not July 17th.
And actually, in Spotlight, it shows the date.
In the new version?
That white, it's a white background, and it has, the day of the week at the top in red, and then in black, the number of the date. So it's actually, this icon is not seen a lot. Mm-hmm. But they decided, I think you're right. I think they decided that having that because the way it works is a Finder icon can't be updated dynamically. The other ones can be, although some of it is like Apple gets to play by rules that other people don't get to play by. But they, they're like launched apps. I'm pretty sure that other apps can't dynamically update themselves in Spotlight, although I might be wrong about that.
Probably not.
Fantastical is updated in my dock, but not in Spotlight. So Apple's got some special sauce they're doing there. But they must have just decided, look, we don't like the fact that if you look at this app icon out in the Finder, it can't be dynamic, and so it's just going to say July 17th on it. So let's just dump it and have the image of a calendar.
So this is because I think this has improved the icon. I don't know if it's improved it from B to A, though.
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
agree.
just keeping it in B.
I think I agree. What we liked about it, I think, last time was the idea that it imparts with the red stripe. It imparts calendarness with a little bit of personality, and it still has all of that.
Yeah.
In fact, my disappointment is that when you launch it, it's just a white background. They didn't do the like styling of the app. It's just, I mean, it's more readable, actually. A rare thing for Apple to make something more readable. Let's put it at B tier.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the right place to put it for now. Let's move on to everybody's favorite app. It's been there since the beginning. It's still there. It's chess.
Oh my God.
And they decided, chess, the old icon was a chessboard inside a round rect, and then a chess piece in front of it. In the old Apple style, it used to be you had a round rect, and then you had like an object that would be out of the round rect, but we can't have that anymore. Everything must be inside the lines. And so they replaced the chessboard with it's a knight, it's the horse, with a new one where there's just 4 squares of the chessboard, and then a glass, I guess, translucent brown knight just in profile from the side, sort of flat.
Okay. Yeah.
And
here's the thing.
as Kate just said in our Discord, why is the horsey a ghost?
Okay, look, here's the thing. From the new one is from a graphical perspective, obviously worse, right?
Yes.
It's just 4 squares and it's a clear horse flat. The old one, that horse is just got way too much detail. You can see the individual muscles and hairs on the horse. It's it's too much. So I actually, from a perspective of an icon, I prefer the new one to the old one, but I don't think it's good. You know
I
what
don't
I
think
mean?
it's good either. Yeah,
I don't think it's good, but I like the
old
new
one
more.
Yeah.
The old one I would have given a D.
So congratulations to the chess icon designer. You improved it, but it's still bad.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is a better icon. Because again, it's we're going back to the Automator problem. And I actually think this is maybe a thing in certain spots
here. A classic Apple design problem from 20 years ago when these icons were designed.
A lot of the icons have way too much detail for how small they are in the system. So many of Apple's icons are only good when you see them a size that you never see them at, so you lose the detail. And I know it's whimsy and detail, I get that, but is that actually helpful to the user in any way?
It is actually a usability argument. Lauren and I talk about this. So when we drive to Curling, we're driving on the interstate through Oakland, and there are lots of billboards, and those billboards are now electronic billboards.
Yeah.
So they change. And it's really interesting. I mean, bad billboard design exists, but you see even more when they're rotating through. Yeah. These people have built these billboard designs thinking that people are going to be able to see the little tiny bits of text that are on them, and it's completely unreasonable. The best billboard is a big image and 2 big words. Anything more, but some of them are 5 lines of small text. It's no one's reading that. Even if they're in the passenger seat, there's not enough time to read it until it flips to the next billboard. So it's the same thing here. You're trying to make something that's scannable, especially at small. Out in the Finder, these icons are very small. And even in the dock, they're usually pretty small, at least for me. So you want it to be scannable. And this is scannable, although I'd say arguing against it is by this thing of making it glass and transparent. It actually makes the profile horse, chess piece icon, the knight icon, less scannable because the chessboard squares are showing through it. So it's actually not enough, I think, contrast in the horse. And that's why I think it's a bad icon, even though I do think it's better because it's simpler.
So, I would probably just put it in D.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's D tier.
I kind of like it, but also don't think it should be rated well. I don't know if I can explain
we'll see where we
my
go.
feelings on that one.
Okay. Next up is clock. Now, we gave the clock icon an A in the previous tier. It may have been the iOS. We did iOS and Mac last time, but we're sticking to Mac this time. So the previous icon was a black border in the round rect, and then inside of it was a round clock with set to whatever it is, 10:08 and 30 seconds basically. And it was a clock with numbers 1 to 12. The new one is all white. So the little lines around the clock spread further out to the edges. It's more like an Apple Watch clock in that it fills the whole round rect instead of being circular within it. And only 12, 9, 3, and 6 are showing, and the hands are in the same position. So it's simplified, and those numbers that you probably couldn't see clearly are gone, and so it's just 96123. I kind of like it better.
I agree with you. Because everyone in the Discord is like, why'd they do this? Why'd they do this? And the whole time I'm like, oh, okay, this is S tier. This is an S tier icon. It looks fantastic, and it's a clock. It looks like a clock. It's not a weird circle inside of a square. It's actually a square, because clocks can be square. You just got to work out the, math to make that work. Yeah. This is a great icon. I love it.
I guess I should say I did this all in light mode. Apparently in dark mode, it's a black clock instead, which is fine.
Love it.
But
Amazing.
So first off, talking about simplicity and scannability, you don't need all 12 numbers. Not all clocks have all 12 numbers. That's why they got the lines there, is so you can tell what the time is. You don't need the numbers. And I don't like the shape of the black frame around the circular clock. It ends up being, if you removed everything else and you just had that border shape, it's a weird shape where it's thick on the edges and thin in the middle. And this one is it's super simple. The whole icon is a clock face. I think it's better.
It's fantastic. It is S tier in my opinion.
Whoa.
Yes. It's super clean. It's super clear. It works like a clock, which is an extra fun thing that it does on all the platforms. I guess. I don't know what happens on the Mac. Maybe it does it tick on the Mac like it does on the iPhone?
No.
Okay, boo to that. But nevertheless, I'm going to say S tier. I love it. I love this thing.
In the dock, it does show the current time, but it doesn't have a second hand.
That'll do for me. As long as the second hand disappears?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, that's fine then. As long as it works as the correct time, I think that's great. I really like it a lot. I think this is fantastic.
All right, S tier it is.
S tier, let's go. Let's go.
All right, next...
Yeah.
I mean, we're surprising ourselves here, but that's okay. This was a journey. I didn't preordain anything here. I just put them in there. It was enough work to make this freeform board. I didn't want to prejudice myself. Okay, Contacts is next. Contacts.
Man, why does the Contacts app exist? You know what I mean?
Previously B tier.
So bad.
Previously B tier. Well, here's the thing. Having a database of your emails and phone numbers and addresses for the people you know in your computer life synced to all your devices is a great idea. Contacts app is so bad. Yep. It's so bad. It is I'm going to say it. Perhaps Apple's worst system app is Contacts.
Yeah.
It's hard to use. There are other
way
apps
in which the system interacts with Contacts is bad. Like on my iPhone, like I'm texting with someone, I'm like, oh, what is the number that I'm texting them with? It just doesn't tell you anymore. Like it used to indicate it in it used to highlight it in a color to be like, this is the. It just doesn't show it anymore. Oh, it's terrible, man.
Yeah. I wish they would make a better version of it. There are other apps that try this, like Busy Contacts and Card Hop and things like that. And like I've used different contacts apps over the years, and they're all better than Contacts. And every time I use Contacts, and this is the people sometimes will ask, like, what's your solution for Contacts? And my answer is, my contacts database is a disaster, and we for our Christmas card list. It's in a spreadsheet.
We have ours in an Apple Note. Shared Apple Note.
It's like I'm not putting it in Contacts. I'm not relying on Contacts. Forget it.
I never even thought about the fact that you could do it in Contacts because I've never spent any time in
Don't do it. Don't do it. So it's not good. But what about the icon? The old icon was a sort of brown cover of a book that had a little darker brown binding on the left side, and the book was embossed with the classic sort of like person icon. It's a circle with the little semicircle for the body down at the bottom, and then a round circle for the head, that thing, and then little tiny subtle colored tabs on the right side. And it feels like a physical object. And we gave it a B tier. The new one is just kind of gray background, no binding. The person circle now is in a dark gray, and the person circles themselves are white. And on the right side, the tabs, which are now part of the round rect instead of being sticking out from the round rect, there are only 3 of them, and they're blue and orange and green.
I don't think you could have made this contact icon more worse than they made it. It is atrociously bad. All right, so
it's a crime.
Is who has a contact book made of gloss? No one has that.
Yep.
That would be a terrible way to have your address book.
Yeah,
and
I dropped my contacts and they shattered, so now they're gone.
And I know that all the icons look like glass, but for some reason they decided to keep this one still looking like an address book where they didn't need to do that. They could have just made this one gray with the little person silhouette and it would have done the job. Because one, the person silhouette's not in the center anymore, the icon, which just looks ugly. Like that looks really bad. And they actually could have centered it if they were made a bit smaller, but they didn't want to do that. They have the little tabs down the side, but the tabs do not overlap anymore, so they are therefore useless, right, as tabs. Because they don't overlap.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
exactly
it just doesn't work. And also you can see them all through with I think the same level of clarity, right? As if they're just like one on top of each other underneath this. Terrible. This is a terrible icon.
So Zoe in the Discord said it looks like an ice sculpture of the old icon.
That is yes. This came from a party that the Contacts team had at Christmas when they had an ice sculpture made. This is a terrible icon. This is terrible.
It's real bad.
I am really not one for skeuomorphism, just in general. I just don't really like it anymore. It grew old. But the Contacts app is absolutely an app that should have remained looking like that.
That icon was good skeuomorphism. You got it. It was subtle. It was kind of whimsical, but it had the binding on the left side. Yeah. It's totally unnecessary, but it's really nice, and it balances the tabs on the other side, which have depth, so you can see that they are tabs.
Yeah, they absolutely should have automated this icon, and they didn't. They just
throw it away.
A new one. Yeah.
This is my argument: is throw it away. If you're gonna do a new icon like this for Contacts, don't ape the old icon, because all you're doing is spitting on the grave of the old icon by making this zombie version of it. Do something different and original rather than just destroying the old icon.
Absolutely agreed. Terrible.
F tier.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's do F tier. I love it.
I think so. I think it's F tier. I think it's a bad icon. I think it's a crime.
We could also rename F tier to Auto tier. I wouldn't mind that actually.
Well, we'll keep that under advisement. Next up is, we've talked about this before because this is one of the, and we didn't rate it last time, but it is one of the most bizarre icons on the Mac. It is digital color meter. Mm-hmm. The old icon was it's a red background round rect, and inside it there's a circular thing that's got a bunch of little shapes. They're not quite squares, but little radial strips, like a color wheel. Mm-hmm. And there's an eyedropper, and the eyedropper is full of, I'm just going to say it, blood. It's full of blood.
So me and you spoke about this together in Memphis when we decided to do this episode.
Yes.
And the conversation we had at the time, which I'm sure is the conversation we probably had on this when this icon shipped at some point in history, is Apple had the opportunity to have any color.
Yes, to have it not be blood.
any of the colors. There's lots of them, and he could have chosen any of them.
Because just to be clear,
there's an orange one right next to it.
To be clear, the old icon has very strong "I experiment on human beings" energy, right? Yeah, I'm a mad scientist experimenting on other people. I have the blood. Yeah. So yes, this is your opportunity to make the color that is being sampled in the digital color meter
not blood.
Literally any color but blood.
Yeah.
And so the new icon is a white background. It is a series of circles. Instead of the skeuomorphic color wheel, it's just a series of circles in a circle that go from red up to pink, and then from yellow back around through orange to red. And the sampler, of course, still in the bottom left and still sampling blood red. But now the eyedropper is no longer photorealistic. It's a cartoon eyedropper with cartoon blood inside.
And now they have even more distinct color options, because the previous one, there's only like 3 colors, and they're all this
and
kind
then they're
of like
gray
weird
after
green.
that. So that is to the advantage of this new. There's a good thing about the new icon. It shows different colors as choices.
Yes.
Instead of it being sort of like there's red and then light red and then the rest of them are just gray. We don't care. Instead, it's like no. This one goes all the way from red to pink, and it goes from red to yellow. Choose your color. Okay. The cartoon eyedropper. It's like okay. Although I will say it is a little weird that the old eyedropper was made of glass and the new one is, I guess, a flat piece of glass instead, which I thought we were doing glass
now,
here.
Jason, is it's all glass.
It's all
in the
glass
realm
glass
now.
sampling glass. Okay, you're right. But like you had one job, which was not to have it be a blood draw, and you failed it.
Here's the thing. The new icon, better. I actually think the new icon is better than the old icon.
It's better. They just missed their opportunity to not have it be a blood sample icon.
Knock it over by one, and it could have been orange, you know? And then it would have been fine. Just got orange juice in there. I much prefer the new icon to the old one.
It is less bananas than the old one.
I do think it's at least a B tier. Like, I just think it looks like a nice icon. Like, I enjoy looking at it.
I kind of want to ding him for staying with red, though. It is a nice icon.
We can put it in C, then.
Let's put it
in C.
Okay, I want to put it in C tier because you had one job. You made a nice icon, and then you made it a blood draw. What are you doing?
Yep.
All right. We are going now to discuss perhaps the most controversial of our choices last time, I think. Because it's disk utility.
Okay.
And we chose to make it an S tier icon.
I don't remember why.
I remember why. We decided to make it S tier because it is so extremely weird that they just went all the way with it, and we wrapped all the way around from F tier to S tier because replay what the disk utility icon was. It's a silver tray in the shape of a round rect with white on the tray, but the silver edge. On the tray is a stethoscope. Hovering above the tray is a hard drive icon. The tube at the end of the stethoscope disappears around the hard drive icon, snakes back around over the hard drive icon, and the stethoscope itself is on the hard drive as if listening to the beating heart of the hard drive for disk utility. The metaphor works. The choice of imagery is deranged, but I think what we decided was it was so bad it was good. And it communicates it's a disk checkup something.
And the level of detail on the hard drive is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the classic Mac hard drive icon, right? So it's got like the things on the back, and it's got like a warning label at the top, and then the stethoscope has detail. And I like the medical tray. It's like your doctor came in with this tray to check on your hard drive with their stethoscope. Again, deranged from a metaphor standpoint, but also kind of a classic icon that does communicate something.
Yeah.
The new icon is a wrench, is a hex wrench with a little hexagon in it with an Apple logo on a gray background.
Yeah.
And much virtual ink has been spilled on the utilities because there are lots of utilities icons that have this hex wrench, and people have talked about a real wrench like that would break, et cetera, and that they sort of like tried to create a format for utilities where the wrench has an icon inside it in this hex shape that communicates something about what kind of a utility it is. However, okay, it's like, oh, but on the Bluetooth utility, it's a blue hexagon and there's a Bluetooth logo in it, huh? And I'm like, okay, I'll give you that, except for one thing. What's on the hexagon in disk utility? And the answer is an Apple logo.
Yeah.
An Apple logo.
Here's what
we give up.
Say.
What could
in
it
general,
be?
I think that these utility icons are totally fine.
I think they're
the
fine.
Overall suite of them. Like, people are very upset about it. I think they're totally fine.
A generic suite of wrench icons with a little hex icon in the center that it says what kind of utility this is. Okay.
Because expansions
like
utility, wireless diagnostics utility, and AppleScript utility previously, it was just a crossed screwdriver and wrench. Like each of them. So they were not inventive before. Like, disk utility is the biggest loser because they also didn't do a good job with the one that they replaced it with.
Right.
Because it doesn't make any sense to put an Apple logo there. But the problem is...
Is it the Apple utility?
The problem is, what do you put graphically in there? Because there aren't disks anymore.
Well, they have. We're going to get to it. They have their hard drive icon. They could have put that in there on the hexagon. They could have put a chip in there or something. But they just put the Apple logo. It's a give up. It's like, look, disk utility might be your most important utility. If you're going to have this unified hexagon utility design, you better make sure you got a plan for disk utility. And putting the logo of your company on the hexagon is not a plan. It's not a plan. What are you doing?
I would say, though, in general, like disk utility's level of importance to the typical Mac user could not have fallen through the floor harder.
It has diminished greatly. It's true.
Since this incredible icon was made. Like, it was maybe an S-tier importance app and is now an F-tier importance app because there isn't much you can do with it, nor do you really need to anymore.
Yeah, it's true. There are. I use it occasionally, and when you use it, it's kind of important. But I wouldn't say it's F tier, but it's certainly diminished from the days of the spinning hard drive for sure.
Yes,
but again,
it's just not required in the same level.
So I'm happy. I think you and I are both happy to defend the idea that you're going to create a different icon language for utilities to unify them as utilities, and the wrench is a way you could do that. If you care that the wrench isn't designed right, I mean, whatever. I like the idea that they're going to do a little hexagon inside it and that there's going to be a symbol in there that changes by utility, and it signifies, well, they're all utilities, but they're all different. But if you're going to do that, you cannot punt on perhaps your most important utility. You need to do something. You need to come up with a plan to represent disk, and your company logo is not it. So this is in my mind, Myke, this is a complete abject failure of an icon. Because it doesn't impart anything about it. I don't mind the look of it. It looks fine.
Yeah.
But it's a flop. So is it an F?
Yeah, it is an F.
I think it is.
Like, the overall system that they came up with, I am totally fine with. But this one is just a really, really bad interpretation of that new system.
Yeah. That's not why we don't like it. We don't like it not because of the wrench, but because of the apple in the center that is a give up. It's just a give up.
Absolutely.
Next up is everybody's most important. Talk about an F-tier app. It's DVD player, which still exists. And so I thought I'd throw it in there. What does a DVD player icon look like in the year 2025? What is it? So the old one, and this is great, the old one seems at first glance to be a gray round rect. But if you look closer, you realize it's a super drive. It's Apple's external super drive that when they stopped doing internal optical drives with the MacBook Air, they made the super drive, which was a round-rect optical drive that was external USB. That's what it is. It is. You can see the little slot. It's a super drive. And then, as with a lot of these old icons, in the bottom right corner, sticking out of the round rect, is a disk. Okay. The new one is a gray round rect with a disk on it. And then over the disk is a play bar. It's like a little floating play window with the play icon and a little progress bar or volume bar, whichever one you want that to be. I mean, I'm not very enthusiastic about this icon, and it doesn't really matter because it's the DVD player, but I do think it imparts what it is.
I think the new DVD player icon does a better job than the old DVD player icon of suggesting it is a DVD player.
Right.
Like, the old icon is not really... All it is telling you is there is something to do with discs here. Is it CDs? Yeah. Is it DVDs? Do I play them? Do I rip them? What do I do? Do I burn them?
Okay, better job, but also not interesting at all. I mean, I don't think they should have put a lot of effort into it. I do think it's a better job.
They put quite a lot of
effort
into
it. Here's another thing I'll say. I think it does a better job of imparting what it is, but it's not as nice. That old icon is awesome. When you realize it's a super drive, it's like, oh, that's actually pretty good. They're literally showing the product.
You have to really make it big to show that it's a super drive. And also, didn't the super drive have an Apple logo on the top? So they didn't actually replicate the super drive, clearly. Yeah. I'm going to say that it does, whether it does or it doesn't.
Okay, what is this DVD player?
C tier, D tier, one of the two. Like, it's not incredible. Apparently, the super drive does not have an Apple logo on the top, but still. It has a cable coming out the back. Where's the cable? That's what I want to know.
I think...
D tier?
D tier.
Okay.
I think so. And one more before we take a break. It's the big one. Stephen Hackett, pay attention. Finder. Finder. Oh, boy. Now, there was a controversy over the summer. They did a different Finder logo. We're not going to talk about that. That was a beta. Here we are with the new Finder logo. So the old Finder logo, round rect, all the way out to the edge with the traditional Apple Mac face. So it's blue on one side, kind of gray on the other side. Yeah. Goes all the way to the edges with the face and the little person's silhouette. So it looks like a face and then also another face. The new one everything's inset a little bit, and the white face is made of glass now, and the little face parts are made of glass, so it's more textured, and it doesn't go all the way to the edge.
Something I learned this year is that I don't like the Finder icon, just in general, that I don't like it. I didn't really have much of an opinion about it, but because I was forced to look at it a lot, week after week after week.
It angered you.
I decided I didn't like it, and I decided I especially didn't like it when everyone was adamant that you must have it, that there's two faces. It's like, I don't like that there's two faces. What is the other person doing? Why are they so close to the other person from a side?
Why do they share a mouth?
What are they? I guess if you share a mouth with someone, you got to be close.
You can't go far.
I don't like it. Why is there a person like peeking in front of? Why are they getting in the way of the other person? I don't like it.
So the truth is,
also, what does this got to do with anything that Finder does? It has nothing to do with it. Nothing.
The truth is
nothing.
The truth is, first off, I'm not sure what we have as a Finder icon if it's not this. And the truth is, there is enormous, I could say nostalgia, I could say brand equity in this symbol of the Mac that has existed since the System 7 era. It was the macOS logo originally.
Yeah.
And then they applied it to the Finder. So like, where are we going to put that thing? We'll put it here. Here's what I'll say. I'm a fan of the Finder for all those reasons because I was around then.
Yeah.
And like Stephen Hackett, what I'll say is, I think the new one is fine. There are other mock-ups that people have done all over the summer that look a little bit better, but I'm also not going to get too upset about the fact that this icon, instead of it going to the edges, the person shape is smaller, made of glass, and comes in a little bit from the edges. I feel like it still expresses a thing that is what I think of as the Finder icon. And at this point, it's been the icon so long that let's just make it recognizable. And
I'm gonna share. You said, what would they do, right? So I'm gonna share Zoe's take because I agree with it. It should be called Files because Finder, that's actually what Spotlight does. Well, Spotlight finds.
Yeah, remember we did this thing, Chooser, Finder, you know, all the different names that they had, and this is a relic of that. You're right. Actually, I would say there's probably a bunch of people within Apple who, when they suggested that we rename the Finder Files, they're like, no, we can't do that. It's Finder. It goes back to 1984. We can't do it. And I think you're right. There is a strong argument to be made that this should just be called the Files app.
Yeah.
That's it.
What I like is that argument was like, I can imagine this thing. No, you can't do that. It's like, okay, but can we destroy the icon? And they said, yeah, sure, you can do that.
To be clear, the Files icon is a white round rect with a folder on it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the folder isn't great, right? Like what is that doing? But at least the folder icon exists within the Finder, right?
Yeah.
Like folders look like where
there's
you
no
put
smiley
your
face
files
hiding in the Finder somewhere. There's like, we got the smiley face.
Well,
it's not there.
I don't know. I haven't looked everywhere. Maybe it pokes out, and I just haven't found it.
Surprise! Finder Man is here.
This icon, just as a graphic, I actually quite like. I find the new one more graphically pleasing than the old one. Sorry, everybody, but
it's
do.
new and uses the styles and has been a little bit of a rethink, and I don't have a problem with it at all.
And it also looks less like the creepy second face is poking in on the new one, which I appreciate, than on the old one.
Great.
So I think it's probably like a B tier icon, like just the icon. But in general, I wish that it looked like something completely different because I don't like it, and also Finder shouldn't be called Finder.
All right, I'm going to give you B tier.
This episode is brought to you by Sentry. Logs are most useful and most helpful when they're part of the full picture, not stuck in a separate tool. Sentry's new Logs tool brings them into the same view as your errors, traces, and performance data. You can search structured logs, see them in context with the issues you're already debugging, and connect them directly to the code and spans that matter. Having an app without bugs, without issues, is fantastic. That's what you want as a user of apps and also as a developer of apps. But if there are going to be bugs, you want to be able to find them and deal with them quickly. You want your apps to perform well so your users are happy, but you also, if they're not going to, you want to know how to fix them. What I know as well from working with developers is that They actually want to be implementing features. And that's also what your users want. Features are the things that are most interesting, right? To be developing new stuff in your application. So if you're going to be spending time developing and working in your app, you want it to be on new stuff. You don't want to be digging through issues and bug fixes. And this is what Sentry can help you do. They have Sia, their new AI debugging agent, also on hand for you. It's like hiring an engineer who already knows your entire code base, because Sia will find the correct root cause of an issue 94% of the time and can even provide merge-ready pull requests based on that analysis, so your developers can get things fixed quickly and back to working on what everybody wants them to. Try it out for free at sentry.io and tell them that we sent you. They have a free dev plan, and listeners of this show can use Upgrade Pod as a code on sign up, and you'll get 3 months free of their team plan and 150,000 free errors. That's sentry.io and the code Upgrade Pod, or just click the link in the show notes. Our thanks to Sentry for their support of this show and Relay. All right, what's next?
All right, it is off to Fontbook. Fontbook used to use the same style as Contacts, where it had a little binding, and then it had a gray background, and on the gray background were the letter A in 4 different fonts in a square, and then there were little tabs on the right. Like, it's a little font book, right?
Yeah.
And the new one, like Contacts, has been turned into a thing that doesn't have a binding, has 3 tabs that don't overlap on the right that are kind of like vestigial tabs in shades of gray. It's all gray. And then on the icon is a lowercase a in the bottom left corner, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's one is better than Contacts, but still really bad for all the reasons that Contacts is bad. And I think it's better because the A is like in a decent spot. You know, like it's like it looks visually okay rather than where the person is on the Contacts where it just doesn't look right. Mm-hmm. So I would still put this in F because I just think that it has all of the same problems that the Contacts logo has.
It strikes me that one of the problems Apple has is that they have a lot of apps that are named for metaphors that their icon style refuses to participate in, right?
Yeah.
This is literally font book. Yes. And they're like, we can't really, it's a glass book, right? We can't really do a book. Because that would be the ideal, right? Is that probably back, I would have to look back, but I'm pretty sure that Fontbook's icon used to be a literal book with font, like A's on it, right?
Yeah.
And then it got turned into a round rect book, and now it's not even a book. Now it is a gray blob.
Why is it not just called fonts?
Well, this is what I'm saying, is you could break the metaphor and just call it fonts or font utility. In which case you could use a wrench with a hex that had an A in it, which might be fine.
That would be fine.
But like, I don't know, man. This is the old one isn't great, right? Like it isn't great, but at least it shows that there are multiple fonts and it's got the book metaphor. Like, I'm not going to defend it. I mean,
we gave it an A. We gave it an A last time.
Okay,
probably because there's A's all over.
I mean,
so
it is. It's telling us what it wants its grade to be, Myke. Mm-hmm. A. Like I think that the font book icon, the old one, did its job, even though it was, I think, hammered down from probably a much more skeuomorphic version in the past. The new one, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, it feels to me like the icon equivalent of like an apartment that you go in and it's all white furniture and white carpet and stuff, and it's very modern. And you're like, oh, this is so modern. And then you think no one could ever live in here because all the white stuff would get stained and dirt would come in and all that. Yes. So it's completely impractical, but very stylish. That's what this icon feels like to me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think
you said it was better than Contacts.
I do think it's better than Contacts.
I like the A. I'll say if that's a San Francisco A or whatever it is, that A is a great A. If we're grading like the letter A, that's a great lowercase a. I like it.
Okay, here's the thing. I find it actually this icon quite visually pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might want to put it in D.
Oh yeah, I have no problem with D. I'd go C. It's not. I don't like when you think about it. It's very frustrating, but it's not ugly.
I can't allow myself to put it higher than... I can't allow myself to put it in C because it's got the tabs, and the tabs just fundamentally annoy me that they're there.
We'll put it in D. I will say, yes, I think they should change the name of this app to Font Utility, and it should be a wrench with a hex in it with a lowercase a, and that's it.
I just think that's fantastic. And also, the A should be off. It should be off because the wrench is like trying to get it.
Trying to get it. Yeah, that's right. The A needs to be tightened.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to put that in D. It's not quite an app icon, but it's controversial enough that I think we need to talk about it and rate it. The world is waiting for us. It is the hard drive icon.
Okay. Now, the old one was the aforementioned hard drive that was in disk utility. So yes, it's very detailed.
Yes, without a stethoscope. It is a SATA internal hard drive that you would install in a desktop Mac that you could open up. It's a big old hard drive, spinning hard drive.
That actually has readable text on a warning label.
Yeah. It's a hard drive. You can buy a Western Digital, and you plug it in, and you got another 500 gigabytes of storage in your whatever it is, in your NAS or whatever.
Yeah.
However, I will say, for regular everyday Mac users, the most common use of a drive is either your internal SSD or it's an external drive that you plug into it. So what Apple has done is created a idealized, basically USB hard drive with an Apple logo on it. They don't sell a hard drive, by the way. So why? It feels like unnecessary Apple branding to me.
Yeah.
And then it's got like a slot and some dots. And as people have pointed out, the perspective doesn't actually work right. If that bothers you, it's not photorealistic, but it's also not quite right geometrically. But be it as it may, it's just a little icon that shows up on your desktop with an Apple logo in the shape of something that's drive. Now, the problem with this, Myke, is our internal storage is a chip. It has no there's no visual of it. Although I would argue that a lot of people didn't know what their hard drive looked like inside their computer either. So how do you represent storage and then external storage? How do you do that? It is a challenge, I would say.
This would have been a perfectly fine way to show the hard drive if it did not have the Apple logo on it. Because what they didn't want to do, because I have no doubt that a version of this icon had the Apple logo with the correct perspective. Angle? But then somebody in branding said, you can't do that to the logo. You can't do that to the logo.
Yeah.
And so then they flattened the logo, but kept the perspective.
I just take it off.
If you took the Apple logo off this, it would be a perfectly fine way to show a hard drive.
External hard drive, yeah.
Because this is what hard drives look like now to people.
Yep.
This is an SSD drive. This
little
is
tiny
one of those
SSD
Samsung
drive.
Little SSD things. That's what this is.
That's what this should be.
And so they were so close. They were ready. They were so close to
getting it right,
and they just
and then they got it wrong. So where does it go?
Final hurdle.
I don't mind them getting rid of the spinning hard drive. The days have passed, and it wasn't that great to begin with because a lot of people don't know what the spinning hard drive looks like even. So having it be an idealized external drive is fine.
I will say in our freeform document here, I'm looking at it and it's pretty small, and it actually looks much better small. The perspective thing is less of an issue for me.
Yeah,
I think I would be happy with a C for this.
I agree. I think
because
C
I
too.
do think it is a better way of showing this thing than the hard
for sure.
drive.
I just wish it was better.
Yeah, it could be better. They were so close to something much better.
Yeah. Okay, next up is image capture. The original image capture, or the previous image capture is a black round rect with a bunch of pictures in it, like black and white pictures, as if being shown in photos or something like that. It's a collection of photos in a grid. And then again, bottom right corner, because this was the style at the time, is a little digital camera. Now, this comes from an era where, digital cameras are one of the... we don't use digital cameras like we used to, but image capture is kind of for digital cameras, right? The idea there is that you're attaching a camera or a card or something, and then image capture lets you see everything that's on there, and you can import it onto your Mac. That's why it's there. The new one is a black round direct, but with gray clamps, bars. I don't even know what it is at the top and bottom. Maybe just, I don't know. And then inside is a round rect photo of the rainbow stage at Apple Park. And then on top of it is a glass circle with a down icon to indicate you're going to download pictures like this picture using image capture.
I think the ones on top and bottom are just meant to indicate there are more photos here.
Oh, those are like other photos that are available, but they're gray, and so they don't distract you. Okay, I had trouble reading that. I think so. Here's my thought about this one, which is I like that it's colorful. I think that the fact that it is showing the download icon is actually a good idea because that is what you use this for. It might be a little too busy, especially at small sizes. I don't think that the little shapes on the top and the bottom really work for me. But I think it's better than the old one, and I think it's okay.
Especially for today. Like it's better for because you can use image capture to grab things off of an
phones
iPhone
and stuff.
Yeah,
For sure. If you're not using iCloud, you pull your iPhone camera photos off there too. Yeah, I think not having the camera is good. I think having the SF symbol down arrow is good. I love, again, color in the rainbow stage. It's kind of nice. It looks nothing like the old icon, which if you're used to the old icon, it's very disturbing when you launch this thing for the first time and you're like, what the heck is that? And it's like, oh, that's image capture. But
I think this is B tier because I just think they chose a great image. Like they were like, "What if you're going to do image capture? It should be a good image," and they chose a great image. And I think other than that, it does a decent job of indicating, like, "Oh, you see this image? Would you like to download it? Like you've got it. Like it makes perfect sense."
Yeah, I think it's okay. We'll put it in B for now. I think that's okay. I'd put B or C, so I'll take it. Next, also not previously rated. iPhone mirroring. Yeah. So a new icon, relatively new, doesn't have the baggage of 25 years. The old iPhone mirroring icon, when that feature was introduced last year, gray background with an iPhone on it, with like a wallpaper on the iPhone.
I would have given this icon an F because it is just completely unimaginative, the old icon.
Yes. New icon, round rect, blue background. And then on it, there's a black iPhone shape, like the iPhone, and then in front of it there's a white iPhone shape with a bunch of gray icon round rects on it, implying something like an iPhone home screen. Now, I think what they're getting for here is like the iPhone is back there, but the ghost of the iPhone is on your Mac in the front.
Well, the other one is in the shadows. Like he's gone now. We don't talk about him.
Forget about that hardware iPhone because now we got the ghost iPhone.
Yeah. I like this one. I think this is doing a good job of showing what it's doing. I mean, maybe I would have had iPhones in a mirror, but, like that
the ultimate skeuomorph.
Yeah. Just like a little, I don't know, you put like a mirror in the middle of them and they're looking at each other,
on the wall.
waving or something. I don't know.
Who's the fairest iPhone of all?
I think this is a good icon. Like, I think this is like...
I think it is trying in a way that the previous icon was not. How about that?
Yes, exactly. The old one was just like, it almost feels like a placeholder icon.
Yeah. I think it was. I think it was. I think they just slapped it together because they needed something, and it's fine, but like it's super generic.
And also, just not a great idea to do a system icon that is so clearly the current iPhone, right? Like that you would have to be updating it, right? Because it's the dynamic island and it's got an action button.
So this is an idealized iPhone with a ghost in front of it. I think it's kind of funny. That's like the spirit of the iPhone has been lifted away from the iPhone. I think it's okay. I feel like I'm not sure this metaphor is the right one for this icon, but I think it does impart judgment. I would sort of put it at like B or C.
Let's put it at B.
Okay. Next up is Migration Assistant. Oh boy, Mike. So the old Migration Assistant, which got an F tier from us, is the Finder icon in color. Lurking behind it is another Finder icon in black and white, and then there's an arrow that's pointing from the old one to the new one.
Me, man. It's the arrow. Like, what are we doing?
Yep, we're going from that to this. from black and white to color. Also, if you start to think about the fact that it's a face with a face behind it, and then behind that there's a face with a face behind it. Okay.
There's 4 people here.
Yeah. So F tier, the arrow, it's bad. The new one is a round rect that's mostly white. And then in the center of it, there's a circle with a gray outline. And then inside that is a dark gray circle. And on top of that is an arrow pointing to the right that's got a white part and then a little gray part and then a little darker gray part at the end of the point of the shaft of the arrow.
Not good.
So my thought here is, I appreciate that you're doing a new icon here, but what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because why the unnecessary detail? Why are there two? Why does the circle have a rim? Why does the arrow have? I guess they're trying to suggest movement. They can't do a curved arrow, so they just do this arrow with the little bits of darker. It's not a gradient. It's just little more glass bits behind it. I don't understand it at all.
Also, something I find really funny, right? So, like, they're trying to show the arrows in motion. But what they would not allow for themselves to do is to make the kind of point of the arrow smaller, because if you look at it as a solid arrow, they want it to be balanced visually. But then if you look at what the arrow actually is, which is the top layer, the shape of that arrow is all wrong. Like,
yes.
It's really bad. Like, it's like all points of the arrow are the same length, which you would not do. And so this is very funny to me. This does not say migration assistant. Neither did the old one.
No. Well, I mean, I would argue the old one says it better than the new one. This is a case where they've taken an ugly logo that does actually sort of communicate what's happening and replace it with an ugly logo that doesn't communicate what's happening.
Yeah.
I think it's bad. I mean, they took a bad logo and they made it still bad.
It's an F tier logo.
I think
it's an F tier logo.
I think they have completely thrown away their old F tier logo and icon and replaced it with a new F tier icon. Congratulations, everybody! We did it. Okay, moving on. We still got a lot to go through here.
Oh,
We're going to an app that nobody uses because you just use keyboard shortcuts or whatever. But it's Mission Control. Mission Control used to be a black round rect with a bunch of little windows that had little icons on the bottom attached to them: a green one, a purple one, and a blue one. The new one has a black round rect with a bunch of windows, but now the windows have very faint Mac stoplight things in the upper left corner, and that's it. And there are 3 of them. So they took the colored squares off and they put little stoplights on them.
So this new icon does a better job of showing what Mission Control actually looks like, because Mission Control on the Mac doesn't have the little squares. Mission Control on the iPad does. It shows the little app icons underneath the windows. But Mission Control on the Mac does not do that. So technically, the current Mission Control icon on Tahoe is a better visual representation of what is happening, right? Like, accurately. But
you lose the fun color.
You do.
It's boring.
I mean, technically there is color, but you just can't see it.
You can't see it because it's so small.
This is F tier. Like, they don't really need to argue about it. It's just not really. It's like it's got the same problem as Migration Assistant. It's like you're trying to show something, but in that you're just kind of not really showing anything.
To be fair, Daphne in our chat room says she's got it in her dock. So.
Amazing.
That's fair. I guess some people do use it that way. I just always use it. I use a trackpad gesture
too.
I just use a trackpad gesture. Yeah,
me too.
I mean, everybody takes different folks. It's fine.
Sure
it's fine.
does.
Photo booth.
Yes.
Now I actually use Photo Booth. I heard somebody say, "Oh, whoever uses Photo Booth." I use Photo Booth all the time to test what my camera looks like before I get on a Zoom or something to make sure that it looks okay.
To use it.
Yeah. Old Photo Booth icon, red round rect, and then in it was two symbols, a photo, kind of a bordered photo shape, turned on its, rotated a little bit to the left. And then in front of it, another photo with a red border with a white background with that person shape inside it. So it's like 2 photos, and then in the bottom right corner, the photorealistic camera lens is there.
Mm-hmm.
The new one, it's a red round rect with a little slot at the top, and a strip of that's coming out. It's a white strip that comes down to the bottom, right, to the border, above the border, because they leave space around all of these, with two what are basically photos on a photo strip of the little person shape. Myke, this is a great icon, and it's a vast improvement because it's what you get in a photo booth. This is the dispenser of the photos from the photo booth.
What you don't get in a photo booth is just a random disembodied lens. This is one of the weird examples.
And a stack of pictures. A stack.
Of where a current icon for an old app is actually the new icon is better than the old one. Like, significant. Yeah. It's like this is mirrored based on some of the conversations we've been having, where it's like you took a thing that used to mean a thing, and then you updated it, and now it doesn't mean anything.
It has no meaning at all.
Reverse, where the current one means the thing that it's supposed to, and the old one doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything at all.
Where the old icon, if I look at it, this old icon could have been the preview icon, but actually it's the photo booth icon.
I will say, and somebody who knows the history and remembers it better than me, but I'll say photo booth used to have a different icon, right? A skeuomorphic icon. And I think the reason that the round rect is red is because it used to be a red curtain, like the idea that you're going into the photo booth behind the red curtain. So that's why the red comes from. But if we're talking about today and liquid glass icons and where they came from last time, this is a huge upgrade. It fits the metaphor of the app perfectly. It imparts photo booth. It's cute. It's whimsical. I think it's S tier.
Yeah, I think it's S tier. I actually am looking now. I think this is the best photo booth icon there has been. So the original was a curtain with a stool underneath it kind of poking out, and then like a strip of photos of a person who's sometimes wearing glasses and sometimes not.
Yeah.
I find it odd. And then another one is like the image, a set of 4 images of another person with this little lens on it, which doesn't make any sense. And then it became what it is now, where they took the person away but kept the lens. And now I think they finally landed on the best icon for a photo booth, which is the pictures coming out of the photo booth.
From D tier elevated to S tier.
Yeah.
Bravo photo booth icon. Next. Yeah. By your demand, we didn't have this in there, and you're like, you got to put it in there. Photos.
Yeah.
So the Photos app, I always think about, like, it didn't really change that much. It's interesting. So the old Photos app is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. It's like a little overlapping glass shapes all arrayed. It makes it look like a flower, but they're like translucent colored chips. The new one is 8 glass chips, but they're different.
Yeah.
There's a bigger space in the center, and so instead of overlapping each other and then overlapping in the middle to create this flower, instead it's a little more literally just the colored chips going around. What I admire about this is that it is still recognizably the Photos app, and that if you didn't pay attention, you wouldn't notice that it changed, but it does fit liquid glass better, even though weirdly the Photos app already kind of fit liquid glass.
Yeah, but I think that why I wanted to include this is
previous B tier, by the way. Previous B tier.
Yes, previous to B. I think the Photos app to me is like a prime example of how you can make a really good liquid glass version of an icon that keeps what was good about the old one and either makes it better or in a way where you don't really notice. And I think this is a better icon than the one it replaces. It's cleaner. The old one now looks kind of like muddy to me, like dark.
It's too much detail for an icon. Too much detail.
I think that this is a really good version of a liquid glass icon. Like I would say this is an A tier icon, I think.
Okay. We will put it in A tier then. Why not?
Why not?
It gets a little bit better. Okay, next up, Preview. So Preview has gone through some different versions over time. It previously got a D from us. Now, I'm going to tell you why. So the Preview icon used to be, it was actually a white-bordered round rect, very much like in the style of modern Tahoe icons. And inside of it, a photo in a round rect of an ocean and a sky and like a beach. And then in front of it, again, bottom right corner physical object thing, there's a loop, which photographers use to magnify things. So it's a very skeuomorphic, as many of these icons were, and this one survived, and it's a photography loop to magnify something down on a physical layout where you've got a photo and you're looking in close. Okay. I think one of the reasons that we rejected this concept was nobody knows what a loop is, and it looks like a shot glass or something, and it doesn't really impart. I get, if you know what a loop is, the metaphor does follow.
Yeah.
But I think we said it could be a better metaphor. They could do something else that indicates you're looking carefully at media. So, with our really sage advice in mind, the Apple designers heard our feedback and said, great, what if the icon is just a loop on a blue background? Because everybody knows what a loop is. And let's lean into the loop.
My favorite thing about this is, for as much as I can see, this loop would not work because it is made of frosted glass.
Yeah.
Even the
probably
lens,
not.
Even the lens is frosted.
Good news is, if you look through it, Myke, all you're going to see is the blue of the round rect it's sitting on, because there's no media down there.
Yeah, but okay, so technically, I was thinking about this. Technically, this is actually a better, an okay interpretation to me, because the loop is the previewer, in a sense. Like, it's just sitting there waiting for you to pick it up and take it to an image.
Yes.
Right? And so you're
I'm sure this is what they said in the meeting.
Yeah, and then they're going to pick it up. But it's just very funny to me that it is now made of frosted glass, so you would look through it and see essentially nothing.
Just haze. Yeah, in the meeting, somebody gave an impassioned defense of the idea of the loop, because it is the previewer. And therefore, this is the perfect thing. And everybody that we've used the loop on preview for a lot. And if we're going to make a radical change, we can just use the loop. I would argue, first off, it is kind of a weird skeuomorphic decision, but they made some of those in some of these icons. But for me, this is an abject failure for two reasons. One is, in their attempt to maintain continuity with the preview icon, they failed. Yeah. Every time I launch preview, I go, what the heck is that? And I realize, oh, that's preview. It doesn't scan to me like the preview icon at all. It's so disconnected from the preview icon that any continuity you might have kept is lost. Two, nobody knows what a freaking loop is.
No.
So get a new metaphor for preview that shows something that is going to be an easier read. Because if you're going to throw away the scannability of the old icon, then do something better with it. But instead, we get this thing. I think it is, I'm going to say it, Myke, I think this is the worst Tahoe icon.
Oh, wow.
I do. I think it's the worst, because I think every time I see it, I go, what is that? And I'm like, oh, that's preview now. And I think there's a mistake that throws away history and replaces it with something that is dumb. It's a dumb metaphor. Don't use it. Why are we throwing away the history and keeping the decision that is outmoded and weird? I don't understand it at all. I think it's really bad.
So let's put it in F then.
Thank you for agreeing with my dislike of this icon, or at least letting me rage about it. I appreciate it. That's why we're here.
This episode of Upgrade is brought to you by ExpressVPN. You wouldn't take a call in a public place on speakerphone for anyone to hear, because you wouldn't want your information to be out there for everyone to find out. Using the internet without ExpressVPN, bit like taking that call. Somebody could eavesdrop if they wanted to, because when you connect to public Wi-Fi, all your traffic flows through other people's servers. Internet service providers, mobile network providers, they could know every single website that you visit. ExpressVPN reroutes 100% of your traffic through secure, encrypted servers, so your ISP can't see your browsing history. There are loads of reasons to choose ExpressVPN. It's now at its lowest price ever. Plans start at just $3.49 a month. That's only 12 cents a day. It hides your IP address, which makes it extremely difficult for third parties to track your online activity. Plus, it's easy to use. Just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. And it works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay private on the go. It's easy to see why it's rated #1 by top tech reviewers like CNET and The Verge. I use ExpressVPN when I'm connected to Wi-Fi networks that I do not control. If I'm in public places, hotels, that kind of stuff. It gives me that peace of mind. I don't know who's administering this network. I don't know why they're doing it, so I like to have my information protected, and that's why I use ExpressVPN. Also, when I'm traveling, I'm able to connect like I'm back in my home country, so I can pick up on that streaming service and that TV show that I'm watching as if I've never left. Secure your online data today by going to expressvpn.com/upgrade. That's expressvpn.com/upgrade to find out how you can get up to 4 extra months. That's expressvpn.com/upgrade. Our thanks to ExpressVPN for their support of this show and all of Relay.
Okay, let's move on to QuickTime. Also by your request. You wanted to see QuickTime here. So the old QuickTime was a black round direct with a last vestige of brushed metal, a brushed metal Q in the QuickTime logo style, and inside of it sort of a glassy blue gradient filling up the holes that are not the Q. Because QuickTime, that the arm of the Q is basically like a clock because of time. That's sort of where that comes from. But it's also just, at this point, the QuickTime logo. It's been there for 30 years. This is the latest iteration of it. The new one is a white background with a blue glass circle and a blue glass Q arm laid on top of it.
All right, so the reason I wanted to include this is because no icon on Tahoe is confusing me more than this one. I use QuickTime often. I use QuickTime to double-check that the podcasts that I upload to our service provider that we use, our data host for providing our MP3 files. You can open QuickTime, you can press Command-L, and you can paste in a URL of where audio lives on the internet, and it will play it. And so I do that to make sure that it's playing correctly. I jump through it a few spots just to make sure it's uploaded correctly, because I want our listeners to make sure that I want to make sure that our listeners are getting an accurate, correctly working audio file, right? QuickTime used to be blue and white. Then they created QuickTime Pro. QuickTime Pro was black and silver with blue. For some reason, the QuickTime logo has remained this color forever, even when there was no longer QuickTime and QuickTime Pro. It just then became QuickTime. They have now reverted the colors back to the regular QuickTime color scheme. I don't know why they have done this, and it is breaking my brain every time I open QuickTime. So I just want to put this in F tier because I'm upset about it. All right? That's why it's here.
I don't mind the QuickTime icon. This is what I would say. I just wrote a story about the 30th anniversary of QuickTime, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows what QuickTime is. QuickTime is a brand name without meaning. It's old, so it's stuck around. It doesn't mean anything. It never really meant anything, but at least Apple sold it as a brand of video utilities and things. But they ripped all of that out in Catalina or after Catalina, and it's just a video player now using some video APIs. I would argue that QuickTime should not be called this anymore, and that this app should just be called Player or Video Player, and have a video play icon of some kind. The letter Q doesn't mean anything to anybody. Also, I get the legacy of it. I get the history of it. Like I said, I've been hanging around QuickTime for 30 years. I get it. But I think it's meaningless to everybody. I think having a video player utility is nice. Calling it QuickTime, it's branding that should disappear. I'm sorry. It should just vanish. And the Q and the little stroke that is the second hand or the minute hand or whatever it is for time. I get it. It's a metaphor that's been out there a long time, but it's over. It doesn't impart any information. It's just, hey, here's the thing we call our video player. And I tell people, record your podcast in QuickTime or whatever, and they're like, oh, QuickTime. What does it even mean? So having it be a media utility or a video utility or a player, because you can also record audio with it, I don't think it needs to be called QuickTime anymore. And I don't think the icon should reflect a brand that was invented in the 90s.
Yep. F tier?
We'll put it at F.
Just because
out of spite.
I'm upset about it.
I hear you. I hear
uptight.
you're upset. Well, we got it. Okay. Also by your request, I believe. Oh, no. I put this in anyway.
Yeah.
Safari.
Yeah.
Safari.
Okay.
So, what happened with Safari? Well, let's start by saying the Safari logo used to be a compass, a skeuomorphic compass, and it kind of made sense. And then at some point, they devalued it and turned it into a flat compass circle shape with a fairly flat, but with a shadow, needle on it pointing red to north, I guess, and white to south, but sort of sideways. In Tahoe, the circle got smaller. It got lower contrast. There's less of a shadow on the needle. And that's about it. Now, we previously gave this icon a D for lots of reasons. It doesn't say Safari. We question the whole compass metaphor. It feels like one of those things that it's
called
been
Safari even. But
if you're going to stick with that branding, like it is, they've watered down the initial concept. But I think some of the worst icons are, we had an initial concept that may or may not have been strong, but at least it was clear. And with every successive icon iteration, they've watered it down but kept parts of it. And it's so disconnected from where it was. And what I would say about this icon is, now, in addition to being, the old one was a D icon for lots and lots of reasons, the new one is flatter and lower contrast. I don't know if it's an F tier or if it's still D tier, but it's not better. I would say it's worse.
You think it's worse? I don't think it's worse. I think it's exactly the same. Like, to me, this is still a D tier.
That works for me. I agree. It is still bad, like it was bad before. And I, other than, again, branding legacy, I feel like they should actually come up with a new idea for this icon.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Please, new idea. Next is screen sharing. Okay.
Uh-huh.
We had fun with this one. This was also a D tier last time. Screen sharing, it's a round rect that's silver on the edge, but then there's a black circle very close to the edge inside. That is the implication it's a screen. And then there's a blue gradient in there. That's the thing that the person is watching. And who's the person, you ask? Well, in the place of the skeuomorphic object, there is that thing that's the shape of, the head with the little semicircle below it that's the top of the body. That is outside looking in, like they're staring into the screen. It's screen sharing, okay? That's what it was.
Is it you, or is this another person that you're sharing it with?
Well, it's whoever is, because you mostly are using this to look at something else. So it's you looking at a screen that's coming from somewhere else. I think.
But there's nothing on it.
But there's nothing on it. It's just blue. New one, blue background. So they're trying to keep the majority blue concept here. No black border or anything. Inside it, there is a glassy round rect screen that's kind of light blue. And then inside it are those little, it's like the mission control. It's like little tiny windows, 3 little tiny windows. And then in front of it, but centered, is a circle and a semicircle that's the person. So it is still a picture of a person looking at a screen, but the person and the screen are now in the round rect, and the person is looking at a screen that is more shaped like a screen and has windows in it like a screen. Which I will say, this is better.
Absolutely, it is better.
Because
it looks like a screen.
It looks like a screen now
with windows on it. It's not just like
it could have been a lonely person looking out a window before, right?
Yeah,
lonely person just staring into space before.
Well, and a window that illuminated on them was the thing,
It looks kind of like somebody staring out the window of an airplane. The old logo.
It does look like that. Yeah.
Pondering life, and while looking down at Greenland, the right one. It's a person looking at a computer screen. Like, yes, you got it. You nailed it. Mm-hmm. This is what screen sharing is. Yep. So they've taken a D tier icon and elevated it. How far do you think that they've elevated it?
It's at least B tier.
I think I might even say A tier. But it's certainly
A tier. Let's get it up there.
And somebody pointed out that the gradient is actually, Adi says the gradient's the same as the iPhone mirroring logo, which is true. It's sort of like we're sharing screens.
I actually think the iPhone mirroring is the same as screen sharing, because the screen sharing gradient is the same as the old gradient.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
All right. So they all go together.
When they updated screen sharing, they updated iPhone mirroring and gave that the same gradient as this one.
I say A tier. I agree. I mean, I want to give them extra credit for making a bad icon a good icon, which, as we've seen, doesn't always happen, but did happen.
Yep.
So good job, mysterious icon designer, for screen sharing. Okay, we're going to move on to Screenshot.
Okay.
The utility you use when you want to take a screenshot. Old one, gray edge, and then white round rect inside it. And then inside that, kind of like those crosshairs in black or dark gray. And then inside that, a camera, a black silhouette of a camera with a white circle representing the lens on the inside. Mm-hmm. New one, we didn't rate this before. New one is a whitish with a gray gradient, but like the standard kind of white round rect. No border around it, which I think is a good choice. You get those crosshairs again, but they're thinner, gray crosshairs. And then inside is a camera icon, but it's different. It's a black silhouette, sort of, but it's really, at this point, we would say it's a black body. And then there's a lens, and the lens is a gray circle with a sort of like shaded sort of white to gray to black kind of shape of the lens glass itself. And then to the right and above, off sort of diagonally upper right of the lens, is a little yellow circle that's like an indicator, like it's going to focus or take a picture.
Yeah. Oddly more detailed. The new
more
one
detailed.
Has much more detailed than the old one,
unlike
which makes
most
it a better
of these.
logo. Yeah, it makes it
I think
better.
so. I think, and less heavy because it doesnit's have that border, and that the crosshairs are lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a better camera. I think you can still see at a glance it's a camera. I think it's a better looking camera.
Yeah, I think so.
You don't use this. So metaphors are working real hard here because you don't use a camera to take a screenshot.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Yes.
But how do you get across this? I mean, do you have the...
Well, you could use the 3 app iconography that
the screen sharing
is in screen sharing and in mission control, and you could put those little crosshairs over the top of it.
Yeah.
That could do it.
That's my feeling, is that this is a better icon, but I'm not sure the camera is the right symbol to use.
Yeah.
For
I would say this is a C tier because it looks nice.
Yeah.
But it could be better, I think.
And I think so. Yeah, our complaint here, I think, would be we think this metaphor is wrong, and that they should have done something that was different. However, if the brief was take this old icon and make it nicer, they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, a previous S tier icon has been redesigned. That's always scary.
Yeah.
The S tier stands for Stickies. The old Stickies was a round rect yellow that actually was a stack of Stickies. So there was a top one. It's got a scribble and a couple of lines on it. The edge is turned up a little bit so you can see that you can pull that one off, and there's other sticky notes behind it. And so it's a sticky note pad in the shape of a round rect. Super clever. We loved it. We gave it S tier. The new one is a generic white round rect, and on it are 3 little squarey round rects with the same squiggle line on the front one that's yellow, and then there's a green one behind it, and there's a little pink one behind it, and they're in a little stack. So I will say, before we judge this, the pros of the new icon is that this is actually kind of what the Stickies app looks like. It's a bunch of often different colored items floating on your Mac.
Yep.
It's not a sticky note pad. The cons are the sticky note pad look really good and imparted that it's sticky notes.
Yeah.
So it's more literal, which has advantages, but it also feels a little more generic and with less personality than the previous. What do you think?
I think this is an S tier icon because it's nice and colorful. It respects the past, right, by having the exact same look of the yellow
scribble
one with
line.
The scribble. And also,
it's a more vibrant yellow, by the way.
Hey, look, if you had a sticky notepad and that corner was peeled up all the time, curled up like that would annoy you. You'd be like,
I suppose.
Why is it always curled up like that?
I mean, I would say S or A, because, like I said, I'm kind of sad. Well, here's the thing. I'm sad that the skeuomorphic nature of the old S tier icon is going away because I like it, but also no icon of this style made it to Tahoe, right?
Yeah.
Like clearly they're like, no. We're not doing skeuomorphic objects all the way to the edge of the round rect. We're not going to do it. We need a little bit of white space around the round rect every time. So with that as the design brief, I do think they did a great job. I would not have wanted to see a sticky notepad inside a round rect.
No.
And what's going for it is, it's actually what the Stickies app looks like. That's what it looks like.
Skeuomorphic to the app,
which
itself,
is the
you know?
Yes, it reflects the software and not an object in space. We'll make it S tier. It stays as S tier. Good job, you didn't blow it. Now this is an app that I remember you having an icon you had lots of problems with.
I don't
when
like
we did
it.
this before. We put it in A because I insisted. It's terminal.
I hate it.
Old terminal icon has a silver border with a black border inside it, with a gray screen background beside it, and then it's got a greater than and an underscore, which is basically a Unix prompt and a cursor.
Mm-hmm.
The new one, much simpler. It's a black round rect, and there is a glass greater than with a dark gray cursor underneath it. So it's a simplified version of the old logo. What do you think?
I prefer it to the old one, but I still don't like it.
So I think I prefer it too, or I don't
like
have an opinion about it.
I like that the tech. What would you call that, a cursor where the text?
It's a
goes?
cursor.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
a cursor.
that is a different color to the prompt. Like that is. Gray.
I agree. I like that it doesn't have the multiple layers of frame around it.
Yeah, because it's like, how big is the text on this screen in the old one? You know.
And I'm sure I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I think there was an opportunity to have this be colorful.
Yeah.
Like, my terminal is set to have the text in a color, not white on black.
I think probably I said this
white.
before. I would have wanted this green.
Yeah.
Green on black.
Yeah, right? It's the classic green console. Yeah. So I think they had the opportunity to have a little pop of color here, especially with the larger prompt symbol and the cursor, to have like a pop of color. And instead it's super monochrome. But I think it can continue to live at A tier if it was there before.
Yeah. I'm happier with it. I think it is better. It is not S tier. I don't think it's A tier. But if we gave it A tier before, I prefer it to the last one. So logic.
Well, you don't think it's worse, though, right?
No, I think it's better than the old one. But I just didn't like it anyway.
I think it's fine. I don't know if I think it's better, but I think it's fine. We'll put it at A tier. We'll just keep it at A tier. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, this was a request. You made me go get this after I did all this work. You're like, but Jason, we must talk about Testflight.
We must talk about Testflight.
Okay, Testflight. It's blue.
Mm-hmm.
Blue round rect. The old one is a blue round rect, and inside it there's a thin white round rect line as a frame. And inside that is a 3-bladed propeller, because Testflight, right? And it's this is a blueprint color scheme, right? It's blue. And again, this evolved over time to this icon that was in the last generation. Some of the blades are fully formed, and some of them are just outlines, and then there's kind of like a little swooshy, sort of like the Relay logo was, a little sort of swooshy circle that indicates that the propeller is turning. Testflight, right? Testflight. So it's an airplane propeller. The new icon is blue with a grid like a blueprint that goes all the way to the edge. It's a very light grid. Inside it, there are 3 propeller blades. They're just glass propeller blades. They're not in different shapes and different forms of level of completedness. They're just there. And there is a circular kind of gradient pattern that goes around that is implying movement from them, but it's not like a little track behind it like on the others. It's a gradient sort of like that fades away as you get further, but still implies that they're spinning. What do you think about this one?
So everything that was good about the old Testflight, which we gave a B, realistically was only good at sizes. This is a thing that I've already levied as a complaint. it was only good at sizes that you would never see the icon. Like the fact that the 3 blades were at different levels of design. Like one is pure wireframe, one is sketch, one is fully like rendered. That it says design. I think designed by Apple in California.
It does.
The text that's going around
in the corner.
But you would never see it at a level that made any sense to you, and it just looked honestly like they were the same level of doneness, right? So I think the new version does a much better job of indicating blueprint than the old version.
Yes.
I think it's showing blue and having the grid, the very visible grid there, suggests like development, like something's going on here. Plus, it actually now looks more like a propeller spinning than the old one.
Yes.
I really like this. Someone is pointing out something in Discord that I think is obvious, but I'm just going to say it because they said it. They're not blades, they're app icons at different levels. I know we talked about this before.
No, but
they're like skewed app icons, right? So they're like little round rects. Anyway, so they look like
sure,
propellers.
but they're propeller blades. They're intended to look like propeller blades.
From the follow-up.
By the way, I'll just say it. They may be hinting at the fact that yes, these are actually turned, just like they're trying. People are trying to make us believe that the App Store icons are app icons that are turned, that are shapes. But that's not where they come from. That was a retcon that they did. That's like a little Easter egg. Yeah. So okay, the point is though that it's making the shape of a propeller. And to your point, at a small size, as a small size, yeah, it does. At a small size, all you get out of Testflight ever is it's blue with those 3 little things sticking out, like a pinwheel or a propeller. That's all you ever scan at the size that you see your Testflight icon. Yeah. And so this new icon passes the test because it's still obviously the Testflight icon in a way that the preview icon fails.
Yes, and I think it's just a better looking icon than the old icon, even though the old icon, I liked it. And so I would say this is an A tier icon. I think they did a very good job with the Testflight icon. I think they gave it more personality and also made it look more like what it should look like at the sizes that you see it.
Sounds good to me. We'll put it there. I think it's good. I mean, I think it's A or S tier. I mean, I think they did a very good job. It's a pleasant icon that still does the job and does it better and feels like it's got the blueprint thing. I think it's really good. Next up is TextEdit. TextEdit previously got a B. Yeah. Maybe because it's got a pencil in it. I don't know. So the old TextEdit was a round rect of a sheet of paper. So it's got the lined paper. It's got the line down the vertical line almost down the side, but with a little space to the left. And then a lot of horizontal lines with a big space at the top. It's like a sheet of lined paper, except in a round rect. And then on top of it, the skeuomorphic element is a metal pencil, mechanical pencil.
Yep.
That's it. The new one is a round rect that's a sheet of lined paper. Mm-hmm. No pencil. Just the vertical line and 3 horizontal lines evenly spaced. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I don't remember what I said about the TextEdit icon in the past, but I don't like it. I don't like the TextEdit icon. Maybe what I appreciate about the TextEdit icon is if you're going to do what they did, I appreciated the level of detail that they went to with the mechanical pencil.
With the pencil, yeah.
Because I just don't like a pencil and lined paper as the metaphor for TextEdit as an app. Like, I just don't like it. There's no editing happening here. There's no text to edit, like you could say. There's nothing there. So if they are going to keep this metaphor, I actually like what they have done, right? Because they have made it, again, easier to see that it is a piece of paper because they are using less lines. It is a worse icon, though. Like, it is so boring. Like,
super boring.
The old one I didn't like particularly. I just don't really like this in general. Like, this just is not exciting to me. Or, like, not emblematic to me of what it should be, but I appreciate how hard they went with it if you're going to do it. So I think they've made it worse. I would say this is probably a D tier icon.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know why we gave the old one too high a grade, but I think you're right. I think part of it is
getting very excited at that moment because we got very excited about things looking way too real.
Yeah, I mean it's a good
Great.
pencil and all that, and I like that it's paper, like with a sticky notes, although it's just a sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I think that it works better. I do think it's the wrong metaphor, and that they've gone for continuity, but they've lost that it's a text editor, and that maybe it should have been like text in one of these little windows that they've been making, in these glass windows with like a cursor in between letters of a word or something. It's like you're editing text in a computer, because it's still a skeuomorphic metaphor, right? You don't use a pencil to write in TextEdit. You are editing text in a computer. So you could just throw this metaphor away and show text editing in some way, and maybe that would be more accurate. But you could also ride this metaphor like they did, where they've kind of stripped everything else away and it's just a piece of paper. So fair enough. It is simpler. I think the metaphor is wrong, and it's super boring. So where do you want it? D?
Yeah, I think D.
Okay. I agree with that. I mean, even though I think they didn't do the worst job of implementation, I think it's just so boring that it doesn't matter. We have one left.
Okay. What is it?
It is Time Machine.
Okay.
Okay, Time Machine used to be white round rect gradient to gray, and in the middle of it, the Time Machine logo, which was a green circle with the Time Machine backward circular arrow, and then inside of it, the clock hands. The new one is a lighter round rect, starting from white at the top to a gray at the bottom, but it's a lighter gray, and it's got the sort of glass texture on it. And then a slightly smaller circle of the Time Machine logo with the glass effect at the edges. And then, like with everything, the little backward arrow and the clock hands are little glass details. And the circle of the Time Machine logo was the Time Machine logo? Yeah, it was greeny, and now it's light, like a light greeny. Is it green? Would you say green?
Yeah, it's green.
Okay.
They're both green.
I have trouble. It could have been gray, but it looks green to me. So
yeah, they're green. They're all
okay,
green.
good.
They're very different.
I realize
greens.
maybe I'm out on a limb here saying that it's green, but it is,
very
looks
very
green to me.
different greens, but they're greens.
Very much so. So what do you think? Oh, and I should say the head of the arrow is much smaller in the new one than the old one.
It's like, this is the logo you would make if you were making a liquid glass version of the Time Machine logo.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it was coming from like a great spot beforehand, and so that you've kind of just done what you needed to do. I don't like it, but I don't think I liked what it was before either. You know?
Once again, we've got a classic, clever Apple brand name that is not quite what, it's a metaphor. You got to figure it out. They could call it Backup, and they don't. They call it Time Machine. And if you like the whimsy of it, great. It's showing you going back in time, which is fine. I mean, I don't know. It's simpler. It's liquid glass. It's fine. I have a hard time getting enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
It's I think slightly harder to read because the arrowhead is smaller, but it's simpler, and I like that the gradient isn't as dramatic and the round rect behind it. It's fine.
It's fine.
It reads as Time Machine to me.
It's probably a D tier. Like, it's because it's fine. It's actually it's easier to maybe pass than the old one. I don't know, or just as much. It's fine. This is a bit of a damp squib to end the tier list on, honestly. But alphabet, there's nothing we can do about it. This is how the alphabet goes.
That's how the alphabet broke. So now the next question is, do we move anything around on the tier list?
Absolutely we do. MIDI goes to A. S. MIDI goes to S. For sure it does.
We're promoting the MIDI keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me look at what else we've got. I think maybe Color Picker could go to C. I think that is much better than the other icons in the C, but I don't think the other ones should go to D. So we've got Color Picker, the hard drive, and Screenshot in C, and I think that the Color Picker is a more appealing looking icon than the ones that it's sitting beside, and I think that Like, just from a color and design perspective, it fits more with what else is in B, which is calendar, finder.
But they whiffed on the blood.
They did whiff on the blood. Yeah, okay, that puts it in C. I forgot about the blood.
They whiffed on the blood.
Who doesn't whiff on the blood? Like, I would even say that chess maybe could come up from D to C. I think chess is better
than all those others that are down there. Do we really want to encourage chess, though?
No, it can be the top of D. It can be the top of D.
Okay. Yeah. Don't be boring.
Okay, here's a question for you. I want before we finish. What is the best in our tier list, and what is the worst?
What is the best in our tier list, and what is the worst? Well, for me, the best is Photo Booth.
Okay.
And the worst is Preview.
Okay. All right. I have completely different ones.
Yeah.
For me, the best is MIDI controller.
Okay.
I freaking love that thing.
It is amazing.
The worst is Automator.
Yeah, I know. You hate.
Look, most people say I hate Automator because of what they did to the wonderful Automator icon.
Yeah,
I hate
didn't
it
even like it.
I hated the old one, and this is worse.
And this is worse. It is worse. It's bad. It's down low for me.
Yes,
but I just am so offended by what they did to Preview. I don't like it.
I at least find
Automator is bad though. It's bad.
The preview icon, while I don't like it, I don't mind looking at it. I do not like looking at the Automator icon. I think it is bad to look at. Where the other ones, I can look at them and it's okay. That one, it upsets me to look at it. I don't like looking at it. It's an upsetting thing to see. I think that's going to do it. So we were going to do some Holiday Ask Upgrade. We're now going to do that in Upgrade Plus because this episode is over 2 hours long.
It's very long. We're giving you a holiday special. It's like the under the tree. You got a giant, ridiculous upgrade episode. Congratulations, everybody.
Even more special, getupgradeplus.com. 2025 holidays will get you 20% off your first year for new subscribers. Thank you if you become a member and support the show.
Yes.
If you would like to send in your feedback and follow-up, of which I'm sure you will have it, you can go to upgradefeedback.com and you can send that in to us there. If you want to find a video version of this show, just search for Upgrade Podcast on YouTube. I would like to thank ExpressVPN, Sentry, and Squarespace for the support of this episode. Most of all, I want to thank you for listening. Do not forget the 12th annual Upgradies is going to be our next episode.
Yay!
If it is not past the if it is not the 23rd, because I'm going to close it on the 23rd. So if you're listening to this on the 22nd of December, go to upgradies.vote and you can vote and put your nominations in for the Upgradies. I wish there was a .nominations domain name, but there isn't.
Yeah,
so
alas.
That's
great.
But thank you for listening. Happy Christmas. We'll be back next week.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Goodbye.